Good morning, everybody, and welcome to TeamODZ Live and Friday. Got Rick and Rupert on the team bus. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Oh, hell, are we? Is this Richmond or what?
And flats.
Like oscillating or box?
No, Dyson.
What kind of fan flats are they?
Dyson.
Oh, Dyson fan flats.
Yes. Especially for dog. So you can use your charger on them.
So far, starting out with a feather.
Dame tus besos que son míos, después te vas donde tú quieras, pero hoy quédate conmigo. ¿Qué te parece si esta noche no lo piensas y te atreves y dejamos de aguantarnos? Si te quiero y tú me quieres, como la flor de los balcones que alegra los corazones, el mejor de mis amores, no hay ninguna como tú. Yo quiero bajar la luna, yo quiero verte desnuda y que me digas Sakura, quiero hacerlo una vez más. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas, llévame contigo. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas. Y si te vas, te vas, te vas de mí, yo me dejé solo.
Yeah, I was going to join yesterday and see what it was all about, but then I slept. I did manage to get, I think I got like 9 hours of sleep last the other night. That was great. It's actually too much, but I felt pretty energetic.
Gene.
Good morning, guys.
How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, good. It's Friday,
Not
and we're
bad.
on the air. Never gets better than this.
Yeah. Well, the Friday part I got, but the on the air, that's sketchy. No. Whew, I'm already breathing hard.
Well, we're 2.5 kilometers into this and we haven't had any flyers yet.
Right?
So we'll see how that goes after the sprint.
Yeah. Well, how are you guys doing? Y'all, everybody doing well?
Yeah.
The weather finally gave me sun up here yesterday, so I was able to finally do what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks and just stand in the sun for a while.
Yeah, nice to see the sun for sure.
Yeah. I was, and it was warmer. It was mild for here. It was like mid 50s. So it was actually, you know, like it might be sunny other days, but then it's also single digits and you don't want to stand out too long. But yeah, it was nice. I was like a flower. Just had my eyes closed, facing directly at the sun. Just like, okay, I have 30 minutes. I need to absorb as much of this as possible.
Just soaking in the vitamin D.
Yeah. Who knows when the next chance is?
Yeah, exactly.
I always find it funny though how like 50 degrees in the fall is really cold. And then 50 degrees this time of year means let's have all the doors open.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's sit outside.
Well, 50 degrees anytime is cold to me. Doesn't matter what season it is.
Yeah, I'm looking to make 50 degrees cold to me again at some point.
Yeah, Vonnie. It's buddy.
Yeah, I always feel like not having winter, not having like a winter like up here is a lot easier. But there's also something about once the winter finally ends and it starts warming up, that there's no feeling like that. Like all through spring and the beginning of summer, it's just like, oh, all the things I'm gonna do, and everybody's super active. And then it gets really hot. And then everybody goes inside again.
Yeah, having like true seasons that occur outside of just one day of the year would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
We're in this roller coaster phase. So it was, I guess, in the mid 40s yesterday. We'll creep up below or upper 50s today. Sunday will be in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
And then we'll drop back down to the 50s again and start the cycle over again.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'll
like
do
spring
that for
here.
a month or so. Yeah.
That's what like May, May, and usually like the beginning part of June ends up being like that here.
Yeah, we're already starting to tap 90 in June sometimes here, so I slowed down too much. You guys are getting away from me.
You're in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Which part?
North Texas, the
Oh, okay.
DFW area.
So it doesn't get quite as humid there.
No, it's not too bad. It's not like Houston or.
Yeah, Houston's oppressive. That's
Yeah,
the only
Houston's like a furnace.
that's the only experience I've had in Texas, is always in the Houston area.
Yeah, well, you've kind of seen the worst part. Just kidding.
Hey there, Bonnie. Trying to keep that energy, guys.
Well, the days seem to be longer in the summer, otherwise you'll be hard pressed to tell the difference between winter and summer over here.
I like that. Somehow Ufa found the best place in the world.
Wow, it's windy today, so we have many
Ah.
windy days like today. It's not so fun. It's completely open here.
Good for the windmills. That's about it.
Well, that's the funny thing, is that the Dutch don't have any windmills because they don't like them. I mean, for energy production.
Yeah. Is it because they're not as efficient or allowed, or?
No, the Dutch are very conservative. They don't want them in the landscape. So they
Yeah.
they prefer burning Russian gas instead of having windmills.
Yeah, Maine has some. In like the northern areas, they set them up along like valleys, or like on the upside of or on the ascending side of mountains and stuff. So they actually look kind of cool. But I would imagine that if they ended up on every mountain, it wouldn't look so cool anymore.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'm watching it from a sort of natural science point of view. I think they're beautiful if you see them in Canary Islands and stuff, but people don't agree here. So, and since the landscape is extremely open, you see them from far away, of course. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Here
anyway, it's water or sea-based windmills. The economy is really working for that at the moment. So the yield there is much better, and the installation costs are coming down because of scale of economy. So soon the land windmills will not be needed anymore. But they are like half the price of a sea-based one. So it's a pity that they didn't install them. Now they want nuclear power, which is going to ruin us all here. That's really 4 or 5 times the price of land-based wind power. This is going to kill everything.
Yeah, here they started converting land from agriculture to solar farms, and it's creating a huge mess.
Yeah, all of the vacant, or what used to be, like all outside of Bangalore, what used to be haying fields and all that stuff, have now been converted. They've all been bought up and then converted to solar.
Yeah, the problem we're having, the California companies are the ones driving the ship, and they're trying to revegetate with vegetation that doesn't work here. So we're getting mass erosion, soil degradation, creek pollution, eutrophication. It's bad. Successfully lost you guys. Cruise.
Just gonna stay right here, okay, Andy?
No. Come on, put your finger up.
Hey, Grace. Can you bring me one of these? She's not even looking. She doesn't care. I guess I won't need to wipe my forehead anyway. Hey, Angela didn't join us again.
She did.
I mean, like in Discord.
Oh. Oh, see, well, folks, dicing with fire there on the fence. You gave them a reset. And 2 nights, they were coming back. They were worth it.
Yeah. Looks like right after the final sprint, I'm going to have to take Grace to school and then come back and cool down.
Just
Or
roll the
finish
window down on your way
Finish
to
my
school.
miles. It just started doing some sort of precipitation.
You're a busy boy, Andy.
Always a busy boy.
I just
Always got
woke
something
up.
going on.
just rolled out of bed and crawled onto the trainer.
Yeah.
I wish this phone had stopped putting an apostrophe in the word well.
Wheel Adam and Eve it. Are you saying we should get naked?
You need to learn some Cockney rhyming slang, Rick.
And end up with a little explicit E on your butt.
An accent, yeah. On these everything's this time. We'll see. Nope. Okay. Out there. I think we've got 99 people And we make 100 in 6 minutes, 5.5.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, 101. I'm not typing that message now.
That's funny. I forgot about that. Since we have a storm on the way and it hasn't started yet, it should be during the day. Starting out with like mixed precipitation. And so they're canceling school all around Bangor. So Grace just came and asked if she didn't have school because Hamden doesn't have school and Herman doesn't have school. And I was like, nope. Bangor still has school.
41 was still yesterday, south of us. It hit south of us a lot harder than it hit us.
I saw that. It was taking like a pretty narrow track with the heavy stuff. I don't think it's going to be bad enough to cancel school here.
Probably dumping everything on Buffalo. I don't know if I want to live in that city because this winter has been hit many times very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, when I lived in upstate New York, in Syracuse, it was like I'd be watching the news in the morning, watching the bands of lake effect snow just go south of the city or north of the city, just hoping that it would hit us so that I wouldn't have to have school. Sometimes it did hit us, and when it did, usually we'd get pretty good snow. I mean, there's really no shortage of snow anywhere in upstate New York anyway, but I think Grace is going to be pulling one of those the whole way towards the school. She's going to be looking to see if there's nobody there. Bangor's too good at clearing snow. That's the thing. It has to be a bad storm for Bangor to cancel, usually.
Yeah, I can't imagine school closing in Bangor, Maine for anything snow related.
I mean, sometimes they surprise you, but usually it's if a storm is extremely hyped up, they'll tend to close. I think that's mainly pressure from everyone else, from all the parents or something. What? I don't know. It's not.
Come on, Grace, speak up. We can't hear you.
She's yelling from across the house, complaining. I think she's watching the news, waiting.
They closed school here just on the mere prospect of sub below freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
And then they add the days back on to the end of the calendar and make all the kids mad.
Yeah.
They have to stay in school a little longer.
Yeah, when I first time we moved from upstate New York down to Parkersburg, West Virginia, which they don't get snow there too much. And there was one day I rode my bike to school in what to me was a dusting of snow. And then I got to school just to find out that there was no school that day. I was like, what? I just rode my bike here. What's going on?
We don't really get snow much. We get this like sort of sleet thing,
Yeah.
which we call Texas snow. And
Check
then it
it.
melts and it just becomes an ice skating rink. And
Plus, most of the time, the ground must stay warm enough so that most of it melts off. Huh?
yeah, the soil temperature really doesn't drop below 50 for most of the year. So we never get true dormancy in our turf grass. It just kind of, goes to sleep a little bit.
Yeah.
There's always
That must
a
be
little bit
awful.
of
That means all year gardening. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, almost. I mean, it is pretty much year-round outside cycling, depending on your level of cold tolerance.
Yeah.
Mine is very low, so I tend to stay inside a lot.
My spring tolerance is way different than my fall tolerance. I remember riding to work a couple of times in October when it would be, the day was going to be in the 60s, but the morning was, 40 degrees or something, and feeling like I was absolutely freezing. Now 40 degrees feels nice.
Yeah.
I mean, on a bike, it's still cold, but that's the big thing. But I'll definitely be out riding in 30-degree weather and stuff once the road's clear. And if I know that it's going to get warmer later in the day.
Yeah, that's important. Then you can carry something in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you almost have to in that part of the country, just because your winter is pretty long.
Yeah.
And then your spring is kind of like the muddy season.
Yeah.
So it can get pretty sloppy. Pretty much February is our really bad month where it's cold and we get wind and a lot of weird storms. But outside of that, it's pretty good usually.
The last few years, we've been pretty lucky as far as spring goes with not having, we had the normal amount of snowfall, but it would melt off right afterwards. And so we had grass most of the year, or most of the winter. But this year we had a bunch of storms all at once. And so that put us over our average. And now we just have snow hanging on. So that's going to turn to mud later, most likely. Unless if it melts off before the ground defrosts, that'd be good.
Makes it interesting.
Then you can go play with your semi truck.
Yeah. We have to play with good old boys and diesel dually 4x4s rolling coal on people.
Yeah.
Or just the oblivious person
Oh, it's
on
so
their
bad.
phone not paying attention in their Tesla or whatever.
The first part of the year of the riding season is the worst. I find myself getting mad at least every ride, if not several times every ride, from people just not being used to people on bikes. And then once summer kicks in a little more, everybody gets pretty good. But for the first part, I'm like, why do I even ride outside? I'm gonna die doing this.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting during COVID. The roads were more open. There were less cars, but the people out there seemed to be more distracted than ever.
It was like that feeling of no policing.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a beer open in their car. They're driving over the speed limit.
Oh yeah.
They have their kids driving because they don't feel like it.
Yeah, when I can't remember what it was, but the governor here in Texas signed a law for being able to purchase and carry alcohol from restaurants, like to go margaritas
Yes.
and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So weird.
yeah, that happened here too.
Not that they weren't doing it already here in Texas. Now
And
they
a
have.
few of those places, they don't exactly make a light margarita to go. That's for sure.
Ratios are a bit off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like still the same amount of tequila, less cup space.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get your margarita, carry your revolver and your sword down the street, and nobody can mess with you.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a front license plate on your car, oh shit, what hell you to break it?
That's it.
That's the straw that broke the camel's back, right? No front license plate.
It's actually not too far off here in Maine because it's we definitely have all the pretty good freedoms, I guess, for everything. I did find out on the news though, you can't carry an AR-15 down the road, or at least in Bangalore, you can't do it down a street in the city. They will send half of the police force to get you, which makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, I
I don't-
like that. I don't think we have that policy here.
I don't know why you would feel the need to carry an AR-15 unless if you're like,
Oh, yeah. There might be a deer in the mall or something.
it's,
A whole herd of them. Yeah, we got to take them out.
that's the thing too. It was like a block away from a mall, and yeah, so they treated it like, okay, this person isn't just taking his rifle out for a walk.
Right. Yeah, just trying to get a little oxygen.
It was a long winter. My rifle wants some fresh air. There's plenty of places out in the country that you can go do that.
I've been to Maine once, but it was only up to, where was I? Like Camden area?
Camden, yep.
And then I've been to New Hampshire a couple of times. In the kind of, not really north of the White Mountains. And I think they seem similar. Really cool part of the country, though. I love that part of the country.
Yeah, it is cool. Camden's like that picturesque Maine town. It's like the one that you imagine that they all look like, but then if you drive around, you realize they don't.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that quintessential town where you
Yeah.
come over the hill and you see the church steeple in the barn and all that stuff.
It's like they take pains to make sure that that town looks the way that you want it to look.
Right, from every direction coming into it.
There we go. Usually we haven't done it this year, or really actually the last couple of years, but usually during the winter, we go down to Camden and stay in a bed and breakfast for the weekend, do all that. Usually they're discounted quite a bit and there's not as many lines. We can just walk into a restaurant and be seated and have fast service.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I had took meteorology elective class, and we each had to track a city over the course of the semester. And the one I drew was Bangor, so pretty good temperature fluctuations in the wintertime there. It was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the ocean and being so close to where the front constantly is switching. You could be warm, well, or mild, and then freezing cold in a matter of 2 days.
Yeah. We can do that in a matter of 2 hours. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that last one that we had where it was record cold. That was insane. That was like, I woke up in the morning and it was a little above freezing. And then like every hour we were losing up to 10 degrees. And then finally by the end of the day, it was so cold out that it just, with the wind and everything, just being outside felt pretty unbearable.
At what point do people start to panic and start hitting the stores and buying firewood?
I don't know. Usually the only thing I've seen is like with ice storms.
Yeah.
If we have an ice storm predicted, because in '98 there was a really bad one. So anybody that was alive through that, then they don't want to get caught like that again, because it was like a lot of places were out, had the power out for just about a month, or just about the whole entire month of January, which is not a good month to have power out.
Did it all. I think ours was it 20 or 21? We had a nasty freeze that killed the power for about a week or two for a lot of people. That caught a lot of people off guard for sure.
Yeah, so if there's, like, we did have one predicted ice storm, and that I did notice people were, like, salt was hard to find and people were stocking up a bit, but even with the cold temperatures, I mean, everybody was talking about it when it was on the way, but I think it was just the normal shopping, because you just know that you probably cleared your schedule for the day because there's no reason to be outside at night.
You guys have another view on infrastructure? We had in the 80s, we had half the nation in Denmark had 1.5 hour power out. We're still talking about that incident.
Oh yeah, we're still talking about our 2-week-long power outage when the grid went. And we still haven't really done any visibly to fix it. So. And to get hung up on that kind of stuff in Texas, we like to point a lot of fingers. But we're also not going to suffer with our air conditioners above, 80 degrees in the summertime. We're going to crank those things down into the lower 70s or 60s.
Yeah.
Going to use all that electricity we want.
That's one of the things with Maine. It's like, if the power is out for a long time, it's a super serious situation, because there's only a little over 1 million people in the whole state.
Right.
But I mean, they are spread out quite a bit. So, I mean, obviously the cities get power back first, and then they start working on the individual, properties that had a tree fall over on their line or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how many million people we have in our state now, but
I mean, there's at least like 3 million in Houston or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
we have
more actually.
We have almost 6 million in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Yeah.
Austin has well over 1 million.
Yeah, so Houston must be higher.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 14 million total is what I'm coming up in my head.
Actually, it was like number 4 largest city in the 90s, I know for sure. Right behind Chicago.
It hasn't stopped growing. we have so many large corporations moving their headquarters here. It keeps expanding. So, which is good for the economy, but I don't know. The teams are going to bust at some point, it seems like. I guess they've been saying that about California forever. The teams haven't quite busted there. Praying, coming apart.
There's definitely no shortage of land area. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
but it's all privately owned, so.
Yeah.
So people are making good money off of it.
Yeah, I was telling a story the other day about that. When I went down for my sister's wedding, we went to a rodeo outside of Houston. Okay, just a little bit of time. And so, yeah, I was like, "How far away is it?" My sister was like, "Oh, it's just outside of the city." Like, okay. Then 2.5 hours later, we were there.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is outside of the city, huh?
And it was really only 15 miles. Yeah. Yeah. I always tell people that aren't familiar with this area that Dallas is an hour away from Dallas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's the thing that's amazing. It's just like compared to cities in the Northeast, like just so spread out.
yeah, and the cities are pretty congested traffic wise, so it takes a while to get anywhere. But yeah, I mean, an 8-hour drive from Dallas heading south gets you to the coast or to the border of Mexico.
That's
Add
I can get to New
Couple hours
Jersey.
on that, we'll get to.
I have to go to New Jersey in 2 weeks, and it's supposed to be 8.5 hours. But that also depends on the traffic in New York.
Is there I guess there's no train structure. I could get you there from Maine.
No. Well, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on a time crunch because it's for my daughter's cheer competition, and so we're just trying to work it around the weekend. Trying to get down there to spend 2 days and then get back as fast as possible without missing too much work.
Right.
But we could catch a train. There's none that come to Bangor. Closest one is in Brunswick, which is just south of Augusta. So it's like an hour from here. Sorry. I just have 2 miles left. Everybody's giving me looks because Grace is ready for school. Come this far, I can't give up.
Right. I finally see the group again, but I still have one more lap.
What's your plan today with a
I don't know, I feel really bad or tired or not into it. And so I haven't made a plan yet.
last week you wore me out.
Well, maybe I should try that again.
I don't know how Charlie did it. He just had the right positioning and then still was able to hit 14 watts.
Yeah, he has an incredible kick. and that sets him off in a very high speeds, and then he kind of just maintains it. So at least that's the difference with me, that I cannot get beyond 12 watt per kilos, but he hits 15 just for an instant, and then he's gone.
Then he can keep up above 10 at least for a while.
But I mean, also knowing that he can do that, he can stay behind everybody. This is my predicament. It doesn't help for me to stay behind because then I get nowhere.
Yeah, last week the highest I think I hit after reviewing it was 9 watts a kilogram. So either.
Yeah, but I was trying to make it long. Then you don't hit those values. But I saw Charlie hit 15 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy about my drafting position, and that was the only thing that got me second. Because my power was not high by the time we got there.
Well, positioning is actually more important than power in the end. So,
Ready, guys? And the exit of this roundabout. You call it. You know, for the fence right now.
Wow.
There you go.
There's a lot of people up there.
I don't know. First from Rick's fire socks there. Yeah, he's on the turn. Home straight now. Got Ufa and Rick out front at the moment, coming into the start of the sprint. Telson right behind. You've got a Charlie coming in hot. He's on
Ooh, right at the last second.
Yeah, nice work. Nice work.
That looks pretty cool from this other side of the road with the fire socks going on. Pretty cool.
Oh, he took it, Rick.
We'll get the
Nice one.
move the board up here.
Oh, that's a second.
For being so worn out. That was a good push you had going.
There we go.
Yeah, but it wasn't really thought through.
Nice
Yeah,
work,
that was
guys.
definitely like, there was no like hard punching there. That was just like a steady grind. Oh. When you're like, Charlie's coming fast, I was like, oh no. I could see him back there a little bit.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining us on the stream, much appreciated. Gary may be up on over the weekend. I'll be back on Monday with Rick and another workout. Until then, everyone take care, have yourselves good Friday and Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.